Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm colouring up this beautiful image called Perched and Sat and Nothing More by Jasmine Becket-Griffith from her first book. So let's pop in and have a look. So guys, thanks for joining me. I've printed this one on Express It blending card today and I'm going to be colouring with COPIC markers. I'm using E04 at the moment to do all the shadow areas on the skin. There's a little bit of a story to why I decided to colour this one. I was in a little bit of what I call a colouring funk, and I just felt like that everything I was doing, I just wasn't really enjoying it. So when all else fails, go back to Jasmine because I love them and I always end up with a beautiful image when I'm done, and I don't get frustrated like I do with some other images, and that's why I decided to do an original Jasmine one. So here I am. I actually had a request for this one a few times, so I thought why not give this one a go. I really like it. So here I am doing this beautiful image for you. So very excited. Very close now to having 1,000 subscribers, which is fantastic considering I only started in the middle of August, I'm pretty certain, so about 5 months ago. I've had some really awesome success with some of my videos reaching over 1,000 watches now. Watched minutes is just amazing, and it's just been a fantastic journey, and I just want to thank you guys. I really do mean that. It has been a up and down journey, especially with adding Patreon and other things to the mix, which has made me more extremely busy. But look, I've really loved it. I've met some absolutely wonderful people. I've been given gifts, and some amazing things have happened, which I would never have had the opportunity to have happened if I wasn't doing this. So I just want to thank you guys who are watching for all of your support and your creativity as well, because you guys inspire me to create, and that's important. So I've just swapped over from the E04 to E11, and I'm just going over all of those shadow areas with this color and extending it a little bit further out. So I just wanted to I guess thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I mean it. It means a lot to me, and I hate prattling on, and I know you guys just want to learn, so I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm just going to get into this video. So guys, also too, just starting here, I've got my color list conversion chart, which will be on Patreon, so it'll convert the markers to pencil, Prismacolor and Polychromos. So if you want to check that out, the link is in the description below. Also, I just want to mention the watch that I'm actually wearing right now as well. Just before I do mention that, the color I'm using now is E21, and I'm just extending this a little bit further out from the previous color that I've used, and I've almost sort of filled in most of the area now on the skin. I've got a little bit left there to fill out the next two colors, but a lot of that area has now been filled out. The watch. So a little bit of a story. I was contacted by someone from Luxe. They sell watches, sunglasses and backpacks, and they asked if I could possibly mention them in one of my videos. So I thought, well, to do that I really actually would like to see the product. So I've purchased a couple of watches and also a backpack to check them out, and they were wrapped, and they've said that if you guys would like to order something from their website, or you really like the watch, you can check it out, and they have given me a code to give you all, so you can get 20% off your order. So I'll pop all of the details for that in the description below as well, so if you'd like to have a look at that, please do go ahead and use that link and get yourself some bargains. So I've just come in now. I swapped over to the E00 just a second ago and filled out that, and now I've got the E000, and I'm just filling out the remaining area of the skin. I'm going to do 2 layers on it just to give it a little bit more depth, and because it is dark, I want that color to be nice and deep and rich, so we'll definitely go in with that second layer. So coming in now with the second layer, I've got E04 again, and just going into all of the shadow areas and marking all those out. This second layer will be a lot quicker to do because it will be easier for you to blend it in. So I'm swapping that out now for E11, and I'm going over the top of that previous colour and extending this further out towards the highlighted areas. So we're coming in and building up all of our shadows now so that we have a little bit of depth and character in her face and her skin. Now I've got E21 again and going over the top of the previous colour and going a little bit further. So I'd only done the face, so I'm just going to move down to the rest of the body here. So I've got E11 again, just filling that out. And just before I go any further, I've got an ear sitting under here. I just want to fill that out. So E04, E11, and now E21. I had already done E21 on the face, just going in a little bit further, going over it again now, and I'll do the body as well this time. Okay, coming in with some E00 and filling that out. Only leaving enough room now just for the lightest colour. And then finishing off finally with the E000 again. I'm going to put some blush in the cheeks, so I'm going to use some R20 for that, and then I'm going to blend that R20 out with a little bit of the E000 again, just to smooth that off. So just finished smoothing off that R20. I've got some R43. I'm putting this in the corner of the eyes and underneath the eyes, so where the whites of the eyes finish or start. And I'm just blending that out with some E000. I've got some C3 for the dark shadow areas of the whites of the eyes. I'm just going into the top, and also underneath I do a little bit on the bottom lid as well. And then blending that out with some C0. So just blending the line out so it's smooth, and then using the colourless blender just to blend that off into the white section to make that a nice smooth transition. So let's do some really rich, nice red lips. I've got R59 first. I'm going to use this in the shadow areas. So I'm doing a little bit of an M shape on the top lift and then a W on the bottom. I'm going to blend that out now with some R29. And then I'm going to finish it off with some R14. So I'm going to do some green for the eyes. I've decided I wanted some nice deep with some light green as well. So I'm using a base layer of YG21. And I've just done that on the base and around towards the top of each side of the coloured parts of the eye. I'm using some G07 for the darker sections. I'm bringing this all the way round the bottom of the eye as well. And then I've got some G05 and I'm blending that out a bit further. And then I've got some YG13. So I'm still leaving a tiny little gap there for the YG12 YG21 to show through. So I've got that again, the YG21, and I'm just going over the top of that just to blend all of those colours in nicely. It wasn't quite dark enough, so I've got G29 into the shadow areas there, and then I'm just going to blend those colours down again. So just deepening it up helps to give it a little bit more dimension. Okay, so we're going to put some black in the pupils, and I'm also going to use this black to go around and do all of the eyelashes again, just to deepen them up and make them really stand out. I'm just going to do the eyebrows with the black there as well. I'm going to grab my white gel pen now, and I'm going to put a little bit of reflection and light detail in there. So I'm just putting a little arch at the bottom of the eye, over the top of the iris and the pupil as well, and I'm just going to put a couple of little dots on there as well, just to show some little shiny reflections. I'm also going to put a couple of little dots around her bottom of her eye, and also a little bit on her eyelashes as well, just to show a little bit of sparkle, and I just like the way that it looks in her eyes. So just finishing off by putting a couple of highlights onto the skin there and the lips as well. I'm really happy with that. Sometimes I just want to leave them like that because they look so surreal. But anyway, we'll move on to the background. This is kind of a weird technique. I'm kind of trying to do a bit of a galaxy look. I want some color behind the black. So I'm just going in and scribbling out some colors. I'm using B37 here for the darker blue color. I've got some V17 for the purple color. I'm just using some Y32 around the outside of the moon. This will actually be covered over with some white gouache later on anyway, and some Y11. I'm putting this inside the moon and also on the outside of the moon. I just wanted to mark those areas out before I finish the darker, because as you can see I went too close to the moon there and I really wanted that part left, so I'm going to go over that to get rid of it anyway. So I've got some RV69 and I'm coming in, and I'm really rough here. I'm not putting it in any particular order. I just want to lay the colour down. As I said earlier, the other colour I'm going to use is the V17, so I'm just going to come in and fill out all of the rest of the white areas in the sky with that one. Okay, so guys, I'm going to grab my black marker and I'm going to colour the whole lot in. So we're going over all of that area we've just coloured. So underneath now the colour is, so we're going to have to figure out a way to get that to come through. So we will get to that in a moment. Just making sure that I'm going around all of her hair and her wings and everything, and making sure that I leave those quite free because we don't want to have black on those areas. I'm just going to show you how to do the top section first. So I've got my colourless blender there. I've got a cotton pad or makeup pad, I don't know what you call them, and I've just soaked it in the colourless blender. Now just be careful you don't put it too close to her because the colour will actually bleed into her and away from the actual colourless blender, so it does push out. So when you're doing it, make sure that you're really careful of that image. So you can't really see now, but it actually has lightened that off and you can actually see the colour through that, so it does actually look a bit like a galaxy in the background. Once we add on the stars and things like that, it really does make for a really nice texture and finish. So just doing the rest of those areas now with the black. So just finishing off that black now, I'll just show you the top section here quickly so you can see, you can just see the colour coming through, but I'm going to put a little bit of colour on the top of that. I've got that V17 and I'm just coming in and going over the top of that black. So it's kind of desaturating the black a little bit more and bringing that colour up through. I decided to put this straight onto the black before I use the colourless blender on this part here to see if that helped to sort of bring it up a little bit more. So we're going to go in now again with the cotton pad or a cotton bud to a Q-tip or cotton tip would work as well. So just going in now to bring up some of that black and make it look really galaxy. Actually, you can really see it on the left side there now. I've done that. Once it's dry too, it does get a little bit lighter, which you can see from the image at the end and the start of the video. So I'm just sort of smudging out some of the colour here. It didn't actually work as well as I wanted, so this is why I'm going to bring in the white gouache to cover over those sections because it wasn't quite bright enough for me. So I decided just to go in and fill out the sun or the moon part first. So I'm using yellow. I've got Y00 at the moment. I'm just coming in from the edge and bringing that out, and I've got some Y00 as well, which I'll come in and finish off into the middle. I'm kind of doing it really rough because I wanted a bit of texture through there. I didn't want it to look smooth, so I'm just going in really rough with the marker and sort of scratching that out. Going over it now with that Y00. So these birds were quite small, so I've just grabbed a fine liner there, and I'm just coming, I think it's a 0.3 size, and I'm just coming in and marking out these little crows that are in the background here. I'll fill out the outline of the larger ones and just fill them in with the black marker as well. So I wanted to make sure that I got the sharp details with the liner first before I went in with that marker. So it's looking kind of plain and boring there in the background, so we're going to put some stars in there. I'm just going to dot in with my white gel pen. You could use gouache or gouache for this as well. Some of them I'm putting in lines so it looks like a bit of a shooting star. Some of them I'll do in a bit of a star shape so they look like a sparkling star. However you want to do it. I have some big and some little so that it looks a little bit more textured through there as well. So just have a play with it. Don't sort of think about it too much. I kind of do them quite quickly just to get them spread out, and I don't want to sort of put them in a bit of any uniform sort of shape. I want them to be rather random over the areas. So I'm just popping that in now. Just preparing the gouache and coming in with a flat brush, and I'm just sort of, I guess, poking it out or pushing it out, feathering it out a bit from the moon. As I said, I didn't like the way that black part went right up to the moon. That was a mistake, but look, it's a happy mistake. It came out perfect in the end. So you could sort of feather this out and put a little bit of a frosty sort of a look out there. If you have a fluffy brush, you could do that as well. I just wanted to sort of lay down this paint here just so that you couldn't see that dark line coming up to the moon. So I've just done that there. You could also use this for your stars as well. So if they do start to lose a little bit of their white because the black comes through there, then go ahead and just dot those as well. We're going to do the hair now. So I'm actually doing the hair green. I haven't done green hair before, so let's give it a go. I've got black for all of my shadow areas, and then the highlight areas are going to be all green. So let's pop in and do all these shadow areas here, making sure that I use the tip of my marker to flick out towards the middle section of each part of this hair. So as I go along, you'll see how I'm starting to put in the flicking motion, which is where I'm putting in the texture of the hair. Also too, I've noticed up the top there I've missed a little bit of sky, so I'll fill that in as I go as well. So I had the G29 out because I did the darkest part of her eyes with it, so I've decided to use this same colour in the hair, so I'm going to use similar colours to what are in the eyes. So starting with that G29 first, just coming over the top of the black, and I'm just pushing this colour a little bit further out towards the highlight section. So you can see now that I've used that flicking motion to create those little feathers of hair. I'm just going over the top of those and sometimes in between them just to extend the colour further out. Now I missed that front curl at the front of the head with the black because I wanted that to be just green, and the rest of the hair will keep nice and dark. I love doing your hair. It's where I get the most excited and the picture starts to really come together. So just even with what we've done now, it's just looking amazing. So bringing in the next lightest green just sort of, I guess, accentuates it a little bit more. We've got G07 and I'm just coming over the top of the previous color and flicking this a little bit further out. So we've got those little highlighted sections in the middle of each of those parts now starting to fill in. So there's still some white there for the lighter colors. So I decided not to bring the middle colour in, which was G05. I've just gone straight for the YG13. I don't think it needed that extra colour in the middle, so I didn't do it. So I'm just flicking that marker over those highlighted sections there to put the colour through the highlights. We're going to need to go back in with the G29 just to deepen up those shadow areas again as well. So just finished with that G29, I'm going to do the ribbon in her hair. So I'm keeping that within the same color range as her hair. We're just going to make these a little bit lighter. So I've got G05 as my darkest shadow color for this one. And we're going to use some YG13 to blend that out a bit further. So you can see that I've done either side of that and brought them in closer together, giving us that highlight in the middle. The last colour I've got is that YG21, which was in her eyes. So this is the lightest colour there. So I've just flicked that through the middle sections there. So it makes it look nice and shiny. I'm using the fine liner here to fill out the necklace. It's quite small and I didn't want to try and get my marker in there because I would smudge that over her face. So I've kind of done that with the fine liner there and left those little white sections free. I'm going to come in with that white gel pen and just fill those out. So before I start doing the wings, I just want to put some of the highlight color in first so that I don't go over that. Now, it's exactly what I did with the moon. I should have done that first before I'd gone in with that darker color. So this time I've marked it out, so clever me. So I'm just going in and putting this into all of the tips of the wings that might be showing from the back where the moon might be showing on it. Just so that I don't go over that too much. I just missed a little bit of hair there, so I've just filled that in as well. Now the wings, we're going to use the same colors that we've used in the sky. So we should be able to get some uniformity there and it will bring all the image in together. So just finishing off the highlights first. When I move the page, you'll be able to see where I've done the other highlights as well. I've just done a little bit on the knee and some on the bird and also on her boot as well, which would be shining there on the outside of her wing. So you can see there I've just filled that in. So first of all, I'm doing the boot. So I've got some, actually I'm doing the rubber part of her boots. So I'm using the black to do that. I really loved using the black in this image. I think it really reflected how I was feeling when I first started the image. So it was really nice to be able to express that in an image like this as well. So I've just got that Y11 and I'm just highlighting that shiny part of the boot there a little bit more to make sure that I don't go over that as well. So it's looking really, really pretty and I really love that we can go from this dark mood into something so beautiful like this. So I apologize, I've missed the stocking a little bit there, but I'm just coming in on either side of the stockings there above her boot with the G05 and now I'm blending that out with YG13. I'm going to use some YG21 now just to finish that off to make it nice and smooth and to have that little bit of a highlight there. I did sit here for a little while and ponder, or perched and sat, on what colours to do in the outfit. So I've left the outfit for now because I really couldn't decide what I wanted to do, and I've just decided to go into the wings. So I'm doing very, very similar here like I did with the hair. So I'm just going into all of the shadow areas first and marking those out, and I'm just going to do little flicks from the top of the shadow area down towards the bottom of each of those feathers. So you'll be able to see as I start to come through there what I'm meaning. You can see that little feather I've just finished now, that I've done a few flicks from the top where the shadow came from just out towards the bottom of the feather. So we want the bottom of the feathers to look a little bit lighter than the top part of the feathers, because they would be more shadowed having them overlap by other feathers. So I'm just coming in to fill that out now. This does take quite a while, so take your time and just enjoy the process. So almost finished the black, and I'm going to come in now with the RV69, which is what I used in the sky, and I'm going to come over the top of the black and extend that a little bit further down. So we wanted to add some more colour through, and I wanted to use, as I said, the rich colour from the background in her wings. So just going over the top of the black and flicking this further out towards the end of the feather. We've still got the blue and also the purple to go. They are looking so good. I've come in with V17 and I'm just going over the top of that. Now we're going to be filling out most of the feathers here, so filling out mostly to the bottom of the feather, and I'm just making sure that I'm missing those highlighted sections a little bit as well. I'm still going a little bit into there so it doesn't look so out of place, just doing a couple of random flicks out into that area. So would you believe that I actually lost the blue marker then, and I took forever to find it. Anyway, I'm coming in with the B37 and I'm just sort of doing some random flicks out and up towards the highlighted section. Now I don't want to go too much over that purple, so I've just sort of done it randomly in a few light flicks through those areas. You can see that I've covered up a lot of the feathers on the bottom there as well. I've only left a couple of sections there for highlights. So I'm going to use these colours through the top part of the wing. I'm just going to do a little bit of a vein down it and flick out from that vein. So I'm using the blue, the purple, and also we'll use the maroon colour to go through that as well, just to get those nice and thick, but just still giving that highlight on the top. So just filling up my marker again there, the V17 had come out quite a bit during this one, so I had to refill that one. Just doing little flicks out from the vein of that. Now I've got that RV69 and doing that as well. So I'm just going to flick through those colours just to get the look that I'm looking for through those highlight sections, making sure that I don't cover them up too much. So guys, I'm going to use some G29 for all of the shadow grassy areas here. I honestly did not do this in any particular way. I just did random flicks out from this shadow area towards the outside, and I also did some up towards the inside. So there was no sort of organized area where I flicked from. I just sort of did random clumps or tufts of grass in areas all over the ground, and then just kept filling it in with the colors that I've used. So just do the same. You could also use the technique I've used before, where you can put a piece of paper down and flick from the edge of that paper up, so that you don't get the the start of the marker area on your actual image, and you just start the marker on the other piece of paper and flick out towards on your image. It's up to you. So I'm just doing random flicks of grass out from each area of the tufts of grass, I guess they're called, aren't they? In no particular order or colour. So in deciding what colours to use, I found out that YG99 and G99 are almost exactly the same colour. So if you don't have one of those, then it doesn't really matter. But at the moment I'm just using YG99, and as I said, I'm just flicking random areas out, and eventually I'm going to be covering up the grass areas altogether. So I've got some G07 and I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to do the stone rock or tablet that she's sitting on. I'm going to put in a few different colours. I've got W9 for the shadow areas. So there's like pebbles or stones inside of it. So I'm going to do around those and do them a different colour to the rest of the mortar parts of it. So I just wanted to put a little bit of texture through and put some more colour through there. So I'm just grabbing the YG99 and coming in and going around all of these stones within the concrete piece of, well, I don't even know what it is. But I'm going around all the pebbles that are inside it, and just using this colour as the base for that area. So you can see there I've left the actual stones within there. I'm going to use W7 from the shadow area out. I'm going to darken up that edge piece of the thing there as well, just to make it a little bit darker so that you can tell that it is actually the edge of the rock and that she's sitting on the flat part. Going to just blend that out with the W7 again. So I've just gone on both sides of that area, using W5 to come out a little bit further. I've just filled out those rocks down the bottom there as well. So I've got the G29 again, and I'm just making sure those grass pieces are actually flicking back up over the rock because they did blend in a little bit. As I was doing that, it got a little bit tacky there, so just finished that one off. Now I've put some white gel pen on the boots there just to show that they are separate from the rock because they kind of do blend in a little bit. Got some W9 starting on the bird here. I'm going to use W9, W7 to flick up and make some feathers through the bird. And I'm just making sure that I leave the top section there a lighter colour. You can see there I flicked out, down and up from on the wing there, and I'm using the black just to sort of fill in that shadow area around there as well. Just got the W7 there, and I'm just continuing those strokes up and flicking out as well, and a little bit of the W5 just on the top there where the shiny part of the bird is. I'm going to use some Y07 for the beak, a little bit of Y38 in there as well, and I'm going to do the same with the feet as well. So I know there's a lot of black in this area, but because it's a shadow area and I wanted to make this really deep, I've done black here, just flicking up from the bottom of the shoe towards the top. I've got B39 over the top of that, and just going into the shadow areas for that one too. And I'm not coming all the way up with this colour. We've got another colour to come in, actually two more colours to come in and blend that out. So the top of the shoe will be a lot brighter than the bottom here. So I'm blending that out with B37. I've just left the laces white there for now. I'm going to use some B24 just to lighten up those areas near the highlighted part there. I'm just going to repeat the steps on the other boot now as well. So this side will be a little bit darker because it is under her leg more. So just using some Y11 there just to lighten up these highlighted sections here and smooth that off a little bit there so it's a nice transition. So I've just got some B37 and I'm just going to come in and do her stockings. So I decided actually I would go a little bit darker and do B39 first. So they're alternating in colours, so I'm going to leave a space and then go to the next section. So now I've got that B37 and I'm coming over the top of that. And I'm just bringing those two sides closer together. So in the middle I'm doing B24. It's a little bit of a lighter blue, but it just shows that that leg's curving. Almost finished now with that B24. So I did have a little bit of trouble deciding what colours to do next. Decided to go for a blue-purple colour for the rest of the stockings. So I've got B66 here, and I'm just coming in and doing the side sections, bringing them in towards the middle. I'm also putting little rib sections sort of in the wider. I've got a white part of the skirt there, but I'm going to make them like a light blue. So I'm just putting that into the shadow areas of that part of the dress now, as well as the ruffles on her sleeve and also on her socks there also. So just going into those areas now with that B66. I'm going to blend that out with B63. And because this is more of a white part of the outfit, I've actually used the colourless blender just to blend that in so that it sort of blends nicely towards the white. So it's almost like the shadow on the white sections. So I've just got some G29 there again. I'm doing this onto the buckled areas, so I'm going to use black and this colour. So you can see I've left the buckle area, but also there's a little bit of an area left where I'm filling in now just to make it look a little bit shiny. So I've just used G07 and G05 for that. And I'm using the black to fill in the buckle parts now. You use black to fill out the laces as well. I'm going to use some B37 just for the ribbing parts on this netting thing on her arm here, and also it runs down her side as well, so I'm just popping that in. I wanted to make it a little bit more contrasting against that green there, so just so that you could actually see it. I'm also going to use that B37 for the ribbing or the piping on the outside of the dress here as well. And I'm bringing that darker green G29 in for the rest of the dress here. So just going alongside the ribbing or piping there so that I can blend this out to the lightest colour again. So just to remind you that the video is at 3 speed, or 3 times the speed that it normally would be. So you can just slow down the video, you can watch it at a lower speed, or pause it and catch up, like, you know, pause it or watch it to the end and then slow it down and rewatch it. Just make sure that you have a good look at it before you go and move on, and then you'll get the right colours sort of going in there. So I've got G07 and I'm just coming over the top of the G29 and just extending this further out. So we're bringing this down towards the edge of the dress now. I'm also putting in a couple of sections there which would show that there's a dip in the dress, so like that it's a wavy dress, so I've done that there as well. And then I've got the G05 and finishing that off. So we've still got a little bit of a highlight left just to show some light sections on there as well. And so in with the hair there, we're going in now again with the YG13. So the dress is the same colour as we've put through her hair. It is separated though from the hair with the wings and also that blue section of the dress as well. So it looks quite good. So I'm just going to finish off the ribbing or the piping on the dress now. I'm going in with the B37 to fill that out. Also, I'm going to do those cuffs on her hands. I'm going to do them a mixture of the colours in the wings as well. So I'll bring that B37 in on either side of those cuffs to give them that round look again, like we did with the stockings and the hair ribbon and things like that. So just coming on either side of these sections now. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in the RV colour. So we had RV69 just over the top of the blue and a little bit further out. And then we've got that V17 there just to go in the areas that are left. Now the white sections there, I'm going to go over them with the gel pen as well just to fill them out. I've forgotten to do the ribbing up here on top of the dress. I just coloured in over the netting with B63, using B66 for the edges of the frills, and then I've blended that out with the B63, and of course we've come back in with that 0 colourless blender there just to blend that out towards the white colour again. So I'm just popping in all the white gel pen now and neatening things up a little bit and popping some highlights on. So that's everything that we've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. So 2 things. First of all, make sure if you haven't subscribed, please do so, and you'll receive notifications when I do upload new videos. Also too, if you subscribe, you'll be in the running to win that giveaway prize that we are doing very, very shortly. And number 2, if you want to have a look at that luxe product, please have a look. The links are down below. I do receive a small commission if there are any sales from that link, and you do get 20% off as well, so it is a great deal. So guys, thanks so much for listening, and we'll chat soon.